All right, let's talk about Fury Warriors in Phase 5. So some things have happened to our Might set. They have increased the duration of the 4 set and 6 set to 15 seconds. The 4 set essentially allows us to use Overpower in Berserker Stance, and the change just allows us to use one more Overpower in Berserker Stance, which is kind of cool. The 6 set got increased to 50 seconds as well, which just allows us to sit in Berserker Stance before changing stances to battle to gain the buff. You don't have to do it. You only have to do it now every 13.5 seconds instead of 8.5 seconds. So that's kind of a cool change. The battle, berserk, and defensive stance, damage increase, crit, and physical damage reduction, they got nerfed to 5%. So I think they had to do this just because the Might set was scaling out of control. It was just too good, and if they didn't do this, then we wouldn't be replacing it in BWL. We actually aren't replacing it even after the nerfs, sadly. But if they didn't do it, we potentially could be using this for the rest of SoD, which would just be making for boring kind of gearing for Fury Warriors. So. They have changed the Wrath Draconic set. They have the 4 set now is Heroic Strike. So it used to be Whirlwind used to do 10% more damage if you had the 4 set. Now it's Heroic Strike does 10% more damage. This doesn't do anything. You won't be using this set in PvE just because it doesn't outpace the Might set. Even the 6-piece, the slam resetting your Moral Strike, Bloodthirst, or Shield Slam, this won't outpace the Might set. But you could use this in PvP. Slam resetting Moral Strike is kind of cool. So you could potentially use Moral Strike, Slam, Moral Strike in a PvP scenario. But sadly, it's not going to replace the Might set, so you won't be using it in PvE. The only thing that's cool about the set is the Overpower Critical Strike, refreshing your Rend. Now this allows Fury two-hander to do quite a bit of damage. So speaking from BWL Prebis, if you want to run two-hander going into BWL, two-hander is doing roughly 3,800 DPS. That's if you were able to grief one of your druids and get your hand on a Hand of Rag. If you don't have this, Spinal Reaper is only doing about 50 DPS beneath it. So if you got your hands on a Spinal Reaper, that's going to be your best in slot. If you didn't get that, you could craft a refined Arcanite Reaper, which is performing quite well. It's doing about the same as a Spinal Reaper, and then OEB is beneath that, and then Bone Reaver's Edge is beneath OBE. Now the reason why Bone Reaver's Edge isn't your best in slot going into BWL is because the 700 armor reduction that you get from the proc doesn't matter. We're already reducing the boss's armor to 0 with our rogue warrior of Shadow Priest applying their armor debuff. Our Feral is putting on Fairy Fire that reduces the armor, and then our Warlock is doing Curse of Rex. So as long as you have 3 of your armor debuffs up, the Bone Reaver's Edge armor proc doesn't matter. There's like a handful of bosses in Classic that have high enough armor where this does affect the damage, but it's only like one boss in MC. I'm not even sure what bosses in BWL have high armor. I don't think there is one. And then there's like, I think 3 or 5 in all of Classic. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, so two-hander is doing roughly, two-handed Fury is roughly doing 3,800, but it is not outperforming dual-wield Fury. So dual-wield Fury, Prebis going into BWL, which is best in slot MC gear, is doing around 4,000 DPS. Now this, I'm simming 90-second fights, which I think is a good number. Yeah, so if you got your hands on an M demo, don't worry about the nerf. It's still really good. It's going to be really good in BWL. Kral Sharok is the replacer, but it's only doing roughly 30 DPS more. So if you got M demo, you're laughing. Sadly, though, if you were using Eskanders, which was your best in slot for Phase 4, it got heavily nerfed. It's actually performing under Iron Foe, which is really sad because Iron Foe also got nerfed as well. So there's that. Now, talking about best in slot BWL gear. So if you get full best in slot, two-handed Fury is doing roughly 4,500 on a 90-second fight, and dual wield is only doing around 4,400. So two-handed Fury is actually outperforming dual-wield Fury. Now, the reason why this is because our attack power is getting in the range where Quick Strike is actually doing quite a bit of damage, and the changes to Ash Candy and the 2-piece Draconic allows us to refresh Rend. So this is really interesting. This is a complete rotation change. It's really, really cool. I actually kind of like that they did this, that they brought up two-handed Fury, just because two-handers have never had a chance to really shine in Classic, apart from Ret Pallies using them. But it's kind of interesting. So if you play on Horde and you want to run two-handed Fury, it actually performs pretty well. And there's not really a lot of competition for two-handed weapons. They also don't really need Drake Fang Talisman. Your Hodge is pretty much the same thing as Drake Fang Talisman. Now, if you run dual wield, Drake Fang Talisman is huge. So this is a highly contested physical damage trinket, and pretty much everyone's going to want it, and it's going to be super hard to get your hands on it. So speaking about prebissing your set going into BWL, you're going to essentially want to run 6P's Might. It doesn't matter what slots you put it in, as long as you have 6, and then you flex 2 of your pieces. So the best would be Flame Mirror Gauntlets and then Onslaught Girdle. And the cool thing with Onslaught Girdle is it's your best in slot for Dual Wield Fury. So if you do have Onslaught Girdle, you're going to keep this if you want to stay Dual Wield Fury. If you don't stay Dual Wield Fury, then you're going to be replacing it with Belt of Wrath or some sort of Wrath variant, because you're going to have to run 6-piece Might and then 2-piece Draconic Wrath. Previous Fury is the same thing. You run 6-piece Might and then you flex your gloves and your belt. So that's pretty much it. I'm excited to try out two-handed Fury. I really hope I get my hands on Ash Candy early so that I can play it, because I will play it. But if I don't see it, I'm most likely to be running Dual Wield Fury for BWL until I do see an Ash Candy. But that's it. That's all. If you have any questions about Warrior, my weak auras, or my macros, I have videos in my channel explaining them. I will be doing an update on my weak auras for two-handed Fury. I'll have that posted probably before BWL gets launched. And any changes that I make to anything, I'll probably have that in the same video as well. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or contact me in the game, and I'll be more than happy to answer. All the realms got consolidated to Crusader Strike, so I'm on Crusader Strike. Hope to see all the warriors out there. Someone took my name. Whoever took my name, damn you, dude. But yeah, if you want to contact me on the game, I'm Cootwigs X now. So that's yeah, that's that. That's it. That's all. Bye bye.